Are you back to work after your husband's death, trying to make sense of the world around you? Are you wanting to be that leader that you always knew you were, but the thoughts and emotions are at war inside you? What if you could sort through those messy thoughts and emotions? I'm Cheryl Parker, the founder of My Good Grief, and I work with professional, successful women just like you who have lost a spouse. And I give you a safe place to land so that you have somewhere for those messy emotions to exist and sort through. I help you create a plan so that you can rebuild, still focus at work while you learn to live again. And after losing my 8-year-old daughter Rachel to complications from a flu virus and my former husband to suicide, I know what it's all about, trying to think your way through grief. And I want to talk to you today about the difference between intellectual and emotions. Because grief is not an intellectual emotion, it's a heart emotion. And there's lots of information about grief out there that you can learn. But until you're actually going through the process, you don't really know about what grieving's like. And I know for me, I wanted to think my way through it. You know, I at the time was 18 years as an IT project manager, and I knew how to mitigate risk and plan ahead and execute things in my life. And it all did not help me in the grief process. I did not know how to check in with my heart. And that is not really something that I particularly know how to teach. I just know that it's important to learn how to check in with your heart before you make decisions. You know, we can feel guilty about not fulfilling responsibilities, and we can feel driven to complete tasks that we know that we should do. But the fact is, when you're going through grief, you're limited in your capacity. And knowing that can help you learn how to check in with your heart on what to say yes and what to say no to. The biggest, I say the biggest self-care trick or tip that I learned was learning how to say no. And it might sound like a little thing, but for me, it was huge. I wasn't used to saying no. I would just say yes to everything, and then I would suffer with guilt because I didn't do it the way I used to be able to do it, or I couldn't keep up the way I used to keep up. So learning to say no. And then the next step was not explaining myself. That was huge. And, you know, if you need to use your intellect to work through this, use your head to know that you are not going to be up to everything that you used to be able to do. Check in with your heart and make decisions from your head and separate the two, and like honestly try to find a way to say no, not explain yourself, and just know that you are not up to everything that you used to be able to do. This, I promise you, will aid you in your grief process. You know, enough of the Academy Award performance. I know that all too well. Just learn to say no and be gentle with ourselves. That is so key in going through the grief process. If you'd like to learn more about how to move through the grief process, click on the link below and visit our website and get some free resources. And let's rediscover the beauty of life together.